Well, welcome.
Good evening.
Hello, hello,
Every
hello.
time. I'm never ready. Hi,
Nope.
how are y'all?
Well, you might notice. Hi, I'm Kiara.
And I'm Tanisha. And you're entering the sister chat. And this is Midnight Confessions. And we got some guests with us today.
Yeah, that's what you might notice. It's not just us.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a fun conversation. We're gonna let our guests introduce themselves. Though, I mean, they're not new to us. We love these guys, and we're so excited for them to be joining us today for this super important topic. And with that, I'm gonna let Tanisha take it.
Okay, well, guys, introduce yourself. John.
What's going on, everybody? Main event John Watson, 1/3 of the Sports for You podcast, 1/4 of the 5-4 of the Sports for You Wrestling podcast, and the new show, Master Debaters, the Ultimate Sports Show, which premieres July 14th on every Tuesday during the summer of Sports for You. Of course, you can follow me right there on the screen at John Watson0984 on X, Instagram, and TikTok. And of course, you follow me on Sports for You and Sports for You Wrestling on your YouTube goes every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Monday. You get Raw Mondays.
Nice. Jason.
How y'all doing? My name is Jason, Tanisha's brother, and that's it. What's up?
I mean, he's my brother too. And did I say by proxy? I feel like we had this
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, we actually did. 6 degrees of separation.
By proxy, but still.
Yeah. We are siblings. Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to be acknowledged. That's all.
Understandable.
I'm done.
Dallas.
Hey, it's Dallas CAS to the 8th letter, and every day you hate it just makes the day better. Host of the Humble Roses podcast, Kevin Cash Show, definitely representing out of Akron, Ohio, by way of Stowe, Ohio, from birthplace of Jacksonville, Florida. Shout out to my mama, shout out to my father. Always on the Humble Roses podcast every other Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. And we'll also be doing AEW recaps with this content vixen every now and then. So you can always check me on the YouTubicals. You can check me on Threads, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want. Pinterest, Amazon Live, Flex.
What you selling on Flex?
Hold on, time out. Wait a minute. First off, this wouldn't be Dallas without him sitting here giving us this whole spiel of things that's happening.
His soliloquy.
You know what I should let him do? I should have just let him introduce all of us, because
You know what?
it would have been like some. We need the drum roll and keep it going. But I don't understand.
I mean,
a flex. That means you driving a flex, or you selling something, because that'll make. Anyway, you know what? It's okay.
I cannot speak on that. That remains to be seen, like fossils at a museum.
Okay, we got to move on because I don't know where that's going, but it don't seem
I don't know
nowhere
where that's
good.
going either. That's not going where we need to be going. So anyway, so of course it's not a midnight confession without us having our truth serum. So guys, do you have truth serum?
Absolutely.
John has H2O, like always.
And Pepsi.
Oh,
Shout out.
And Pepsi, okay.
In the blue cup.
Pepsi,
In the blue
okay.
cup, of course. In the blue cup.
Jason, what you have? What's your truth serum for tonight?
Well, Hennessy
I already
XO.
know. I don't even know why. Yeah,
You already know what it is.
I know, but you know. Dallas. Salud.
Azul Blanco Tequila.
Ooh, okay. And we already know Kiara has H2O.
Yeah, it's brought to you by Pure Agua.
We're awesome. Mm-hmm.
At least today, because somebody got to be on keep us on schedule. Because all y'all except John looks like they might get out of pocket. What is that?
Shots in the pole.
A huge ice.
I'm the non-alcoholic of the crew, so we're good.
Oh, wow. Okay, Dallas, that's a lot. Are you drinking all of them tonight? What is happening? But we're not popping bottles. Cool down. So,
no,
in
I
honor
got
of
to.
the
I
fact
have
that
to.
my brother, in honor of the fact that my brother is on with me,
Oh,
this is
we gotta take a shot.
strawberry lemonade mixed with Hennessy. Because I had to represent my brother. and a little bit of Red Bull.
Salute you.
Okay,
Salute.
well, it sounds like we're all going to be free in the spirit to say what we need to say. And me and John are pretty much the only ones going to stay sober, but that's cool.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, it won't be the
Damn, I
last.
hate
Please
being
believe that.
sober. I'm a smoker, afraid of a drink, could take a with Molly water.
We gonna mute Dallas in a minute because we got things to talk about.
Are you taking it to the head? Hold on, time out, Dallas. I'm gonna put you in the back. What is happening? Where's a cup?
This is my personal bottle. We have 15 of these downstairs.
You know what? That's
So-
for a different day.
No, listen. I'm gonna keep it quick.
Sounds
Yo, come through. We got you. I usually
I don't drink tequila really,
He
but
doesn't.
I'm Crown. I'm Crown Royal. I just don't have any today. Crown Royal Blackberry or Peach or the salted caramel. That's my type.
Wow. No, he just is Hennessy and rosé.
Oh, then we'll
Give
get
him
along
anything else
perfectly.
in between, we don't know.
Oh yeah, we'll get along perfectly.
Oh my God. Okay. So now that we got that out the way, we're gonna try to make this serious because I can't stop smiling. My cheeks are just like,
Well, you're beautiful. So
well,
keep
thanks.
smiling.
But I'm smiling because my
Right,
brother's here. You
right,
don't understand
right.
how this is a big deal for me.
Right.
My brother's here.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't understand.
Absolutely.
My brother's here. It's just a big deal for me because my brother's here, so I can't stop smiling.
yeah, I'm never around really.
Don't do
This is
that.
This is a
Okay,
blessing. I gotta take another drink to that. This is a blessing.
Okay, so here I am taking the reins so we can keep going. So
Mhm.
as we move on, and we came again together to discuss a really important topic. To Tanisha, it's always been near and dear. We had so much fun 2 weeks ago that we had to do it again. And with that, Tanisha, what are we talking about?
Thank you. Well, we're talking about men's mental health, right? So this is part 2. You know me, I'm going to stick to the script as much as I possibly could, but I will go off the rail a little bit if I feel a question that is necessary based off the answers that you guys give, just because I want us to really, truly understand what you're saying. And for the viewers and everybody else, especially us females, trying to understand you guys. All right. So now we're going to get a little serious. So now with everybody pretty much being over 30, right, Dallas? You're over 30, right?
Yeah, I'm 37.
Okay, perfect. With everybody being over 30, right? And everyone's expecting you guys to be the pillar of your family, your community, or your career, right?
Mhm.
But the higher you climb, right? You keep climbing, the lonelier you could get. So now my questions for you guys is, have you ever found yourself at the top of the game, of your game, professionally, personally, but can feel completely bankrupt emotionally?
Oh yeah.
And then if you have, how did you navigate that contradiction? So who would like to go first?
I can go first. So I'll take you guys back to 2019. I was doing rap battles in Canada, Detroit, Boston, Arizona, Ohio. I went to Florida. I went to Texas. I went to New York. I went to Seattle, and I went to Vegas, went to Minnesota, Milwaukee, all in the same year. Right. So at the height of my success, I had went viral for a bunch of things that I had done. And over that time, I had lost like so many friends along the way. And I felt lonely because I had just broken up with my now wife. Like, we were broken up. I was going through an identity crisis, but I was holding on to something that kind of gave me life. And after it was all over, like when the year had died down, I had this moment of, I don't feel like I did everything I was supposed to do, or it just went by like a blur. So my way of coping with that was kind of like running down a timeline of everything. And that was at the height of my popularity because I had so many things that I had accomplished. And then here's where the problem came. December 2nd of that year, I became suicidal. And I want to put that out there because there are men who have been at that point where I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted because I had everything I wanted and it didn't feel like enough because it didn't hit me in the way it was supposed to. And then things started to fall apart and I felt empty. So what I did was I got on my knees and prayed because that was the only thing that I knew how to do as a kid that got me out of the bad places. I remember I locked myself in a room. My wife can attest to this. It was actually this exact room, and I screamed for about 5 minutes straight. Just let it all out. And it hurt because something was internally dying inside of me. And I didn't realize that what was dying were my bad habits and the change and how that affected me. I started doing bad at my job. I started having bad anxiety. The medicine that I was on was throwing me for a loop. So I had to do a complete reset and isolate myself away from everyone. And that was at the peak of what I was trying to accomplish. I had to step away from that, analyze myself, and realize what are my problems, write them down, and get to the problem solver. How did I overcome those things? I can't really say because it happened so quickly. Because by the time that I had overcame what was the problem, we were in a pandemic and my job had already went out the window. And for like 6 months, I was out of work. So it was another hard reset that we had to do. And I just leaned on my wife and she helped me get to where I needed to go. And that's it. Like from that point on, I just had to trust in myself and trust the process. I don't know if that answers the way you would want it to be answered, but it's the only way that I know how to answer it. And I don't want to take away from the other two gentlemen's time. So I'll just say this one last thing is that a river never forgets its point of origin. And I had to remember where I came from and who I am and what I started. And I had to understand that two things. Number one, you can change the outcome no matter how bad it is. Number two, when two elephants are fighting, only the grass gets hurt. So you have to learn how to alternate your problems and not make them everybody else's. And I'm still dealing with that because I take blame for a lot of the mistakes that I've made over the years, and I'm going to continuously blame myself. Even if something goes wrong, I have to take the blame for it. So I learned how to take accountability and then how do I fix the problem so it doesn't happen again. Best I can answer.
That was deep. That was really deep. Thank you, Dallas, for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing. Who's next?
I would say, you be at the height of my life was obviously coming in 2016 when I became a father. That was probably the best day in my life, the birth of my daughter. But then I would not know that 2 years later, my life would come crumbling when my dad died. We just celebrated my daughter's first birthday. He was very instrumental in helping me and my mom get everything together. And I didn't know that whole time that he was suffering from testicular cancer because he didn't tell me. And I never wished on anyone getting a call from the hospital to come speak to the doctor on nobody. And the day I had to do that was one of the most painful days of my life. And I felt like when I had to make that, I knew I left the hospital, I know I was never going to see him again. And part of me died that day. What has helped me rebound, obviously, lately, there's no secret. I went through a custody battle for my daughter. And I have legal custody now. So I still got the drama I'm going through. But the best part is she gets to see me more than what she was seeing me in the past, and that was eating me up alive. My mom even saw it. Cause I ain't no deadbeat. I'm active in my daughter's life. But her mom did not know how to let me be a father because she was still upset over the fact that I decided to end the relationship. So those were the two most painful things that challenged my mental health. But when I finally stepped up and did the right thing that day, and that was took matters in my own hands, and finally, so my daughter can know that her daddy loves her. And I haven't turned back, and it's been the best decision I made. Still got some ups and downs I deal with, but it was worth it in the end.
Wow, thank you for sharing. I mean, we definitely can relate to that because our dad passed away in the hospital, so we definitely can relate to getting that call. So sorry that you had to go through that for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, but thank you for sharing that though.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And it was also for me like one of the worst days of my life. So I definitely understand.
Well, first off, yo, fellas, I commend y'all for wanting to come on this platform and be expressive. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is dope. So John, when you spoke about your dad, you just made me have a little flashback. Yeah, 09, November of 09, he passed away. I got that call on the way to work, and that killed me because my father was my best friend.
Right.
But you know, fast forward, and I can say I had a real rough time. My dog died. I was having difficulties at work. Tried to suspend me, but they ended up transferring me. So like it was a real rough time. I was going through it with my lady while I was going through a divorce. And it's just real difficult. Like how Dallas said, I had thoughts of suicide, honestly. But then I realized that, lack for a better term, I ain't no punk bitch. You know what I'm saying? So all these obstacles and challenges and however you want to word it, gotta handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in brawls before where you gotta keep your head on a swivel and just listen out on who's coming next. That's how it is. These different obstacles come. One's gonna come, then back off. Another one's gonna come and back off. And as you grow, as you learn, you figure it out. I can prioritize this one first, and then this one, and this one, and then I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? I'm a companion. It's family first. So, you know, you take care of your family, you take care of your kids, you take care of your lady. You know what I'm saying? You take care of kids that's biologically not yours, but so what? You know what I'm saying? They're my kids. You know, so you go through all of that and you have to stand up. You have to. You know, like I said, I ain't no punk bitch, so you handle each one. You know, I faced the thing with my job and end up moving, recently got a promotion, you know, recently divorced, you know, and I'm very happy with the peace that I have from that. Um, I know my dog passed away. Like I said earlier, I got another one who he's a trooper. That's my boy. I got him. He's locked up right now, but that's my boy. He's probably asleep actually. But you know, and just everything starts coming together. You know, I speak to my kids a whole lot more frequently now, and you know, I'm building that relationship back because that was a problem early on in the divorce process. So you know, things are looking up. So as you say, the peak. I don't even think I got to my peak yet. I think I'm still climbing, you know? So that's it for that.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Very, very poignant. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna keep getting deeper, guys. Hopefully, I can hold on because clearly
We need to bring her some tissues already.
We got you, Tanisha.
It's
not
okay.
even that. It's just, you know, like I said, that's my brother, so I know the back end of certain things. But this is the first time I actually heard him sit here and say that he thought about suicide. So that kind of like, you know, joke shocked me. But
you're here for a reason, bro.
Yeah, straight up.
You guys are all here for a reason, to be honest. So thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable. And we're about to go into another one. So,
well, before
hold
we
tight for
go
the
in
last.
there,
Yes, go ahead.
before we get in there, I just want to make sure I say this, that it's really important when you're going through a lot of things to find something to ground you. And I think it's so, I don't want to say interesting, but I think sometimes as women, we don't see a lot of those things. It's hard for us to identify exactly, or even to hear y'all articulate exactly what's going on throughout that process. And so again, I just commend you for sharing those stories, talking about some of these really hard times. I also want to set the stage and let you know, because we didn't do this ahead, so sorry about that, but this is a safe space. We try to create an environment that is safe, and we will laugh and we will cry and we will be together. Know that you are all supported throughout this entire process. And we'll absolutely share things as well. But I think many of us can say that we've dealt with suicidal thoughts. And sometimes it seems like people make it like it's just, a rarity. But I think as you're going through things, and I was just talking to somebody earlier, sometimes the obstacles just feel too big. It just feels like there is no out, and there's just something in your way. But my faith has always kind of driven me through that. And similar to like what you said, Dallas, sometimes that is the first step. I don't want to say it's the only step, but I think sometimes it's the first step to say like, I'm not okay and I need help. And I think recognizing that and whatever you need to do to get to that next step is really important. With that, I just want to say thank you for everybody who's joining us. Our baby sister Kevin's in the chat monitoring, so you will see her sending you guys kudos. You can talk to her in the chat because she's still in witness protection, so that's pretty much the only access y'all have to her.
She definitely is.
And with that,
yeah,
let's get deeper.
Let's get deeper. All right, guys. So now, let's think back to when pretty much as you're growing up and what is being told to you, right? So being told to you, when you were taught about fear, anxiety, and sadness. Hold on. Let me think about the question, how to answer it, to ask the question. When you're taught in boyhood about fear, anxiety, and sadness, those are dangerous emotions for you guys to show, right? So many men convert that feeling into anger, silence, or workaholic, right? When you look back at your week, so this week alone, what emotion were you actually trying to avoid when you chose to go silent or bury yourself in tasks?
I can go back a couple of weeks ago. So I told you, Tanisha, in the first email, I lost a very close person to me. He was like a father figure. He was like the last remaining father figure I had. He had passed in right before Memorial Day weekend, and we just had and his family just had a funeral right before Father's Day. So I remember that week of, and even because they didn't do the burial the same day. So I would say with me, I was silent, and then my mom just hated the fact that I was too quiet. And I was like, I don't like you like this. I don't like you like this. And I just found ways, watching stuff on TV to keep me laughing. Stuff that I know that's like my safe space, 90s stuff, that back and throwback stuff that keeps me, that I can watch 100 times a day. And even if it feel like the first time, that finds me a way to keep me from going into a dark place. But it was back Father's Day after I took Sophie home back to her mom, and I just let it out. I had to let it out because I was holding it in too long from the funeral, and then days later we finally did the burial. But I try to find things to keep me entertained and keep me uplifted, so I don't have that moments where I'm just sitting with my thoughts being straight quiet for hours, because it's not a good place.
All right. Well, I know as a boy growing up, it's you don't really show no emotion. emotion was considered weak, um, feminine. You can cry like a girl. Different things like that. You know,
Facts.
but as you grow up and as you grow older, you got to realize that everything doesn't need emotion. Like to really be out and expressive, you don't need to do all of that. Like, what's the end point? Because I've seen where emotions,
No.
excuse me, take over, and then you turn around and you're in jail. You know, or you done did something to someone that you really care about, and now you feel bad about it because you see the result of it. So when you let certain things get out of control, that thing, like, it can go left real fast, and then it's out of your control. um but I say within the past week I've had good outlets. Like, I've been in a good space. I'm kind of riding a wave right now, so like everything is on the up and up. So um there is no really like try to hide or go silent. you know. And then I do have a good outlet of different men that I do speak to. Um, Anywhere from guys that I've known for 30 plus years to guys at work that I just met. You know, um, as you say, it's an open space. I make myself open to them. They're open back towards me, and everything's kind of cool. So I haven't really had that.
That's good.
This is difficult for me to answer.
What about you, Calvin?
This is difficult for me to answer because just if you see me getting emotional, just act like you don't see it. So,
Oh, okay.
damn, man.
Take your time, bro.
All right, so listen. Fear, anxiety, anger, and sadness is what I suffered from. Just because I had an abusive father. So anything that was my fault, I got beat for. No exaggeration. My father broke his leg on my birthday. So we joked. I was like, that's what you get for treating me the way that you did. I got the chance to help my dad out when he was moving because he was on crutches, so I had to help him move. I agreed to do it. So then we finally got to sitting down. Then out of nowhere, he just like apologized to me for like everything he did to me. And I was holding on to that shit for like 31 years because he started that shit when he was 6. Like when my grandma died, his mom died. He was young, so he was emotional, so he kind of like attacked me for it. My family just sat there and watched. They couldn't do nothing because he was big, tall, muscular guy, and I pretty much was his punching bag for like 20 plus years. And then my anger issues started because I couldn't fight back. So like Jason said, you got to learn to control your emotions, because when I used to lash out, I didn't know how to stop. So having that moment with my dad to where like I could sit down and like explain to him everything that I felt, we got a much better relationship now. But it took so many other aspects of that. Like what brought us closer was him breaking his leg, and then my uncle got into a motorcycle accident the following week and cracked his skull open. So like both men in our family besides me are down right now. I got to hold down the fort for the whole family. And it gave me a feeling of completeness, if that's a word, not that I could be there when nobody else thought I would, or when they didn't think I would be there. So whenever I talk about my situation with my father, like all of the emotions and things that I dealt with start to replay back in my mind like a highlight reel. I don't blame him for treating me like that. I don't blame myself. It just kind of made me who I am now, because it taught me patience as a father with my children, to understand that if they're dealing with something, I have to understand why they did something a certain way, and just understand their state of mind, and talking the problems out are much better than getting angry and throwing a tantrum. And it just helped develop growth. Sorry, I'm rambling. No, I've had to suppress a lot of anger, and I'm letting it out through what I'm doing now. That's it.
Well, I mean, you for being vulnerable, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot. And you have to have an outlet, right? And that's why, mental health for me is really, really important.
It's my outlet right here.
Right. Listen,
You're in
and I completely understand, this topic for me is really important, with my own challenges of mental health, and, my family's mental health, our dad's mental health. Like, it's definitely, I just want to just take this time, because we're going to keep getting deeper, but I just want y'all to really thank y'all for being as vulnerable as you guys are being with these questions. Because it's also giving us an insight of what you guys really do go through, that we don't see, that we don't understand, or because you guys do keep it to yourselves, or however you guys are using your outlets, right? And understanding that certain things you can't do. So I truly appreciate you guys just being as vulnerable as you guys are. We see everybody in the chat. Thank you. Even you guys can drop some questions, or even let us know how you're feeling, because this is definitely a safe space. There's no judgment. There's no nothing here. We just want you to know that you're safe here, and everything you have to, you can say what you need to say.
Thanks for giving us a space.
Word.
Appreciate
that.
You guys are welcome. So I do have a question in chat from our sister, and I'm going to pop it up here. So the question is, what is the biggest mask you think you or the men in your life are wearing right now?
Everything's all right. I'm sorry, bro.
Go ahead.
But everything's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. Everything's all right. No matter what it is, if you got financial problems, if you got relationship problems, if you got work problems, you just got life problems, everything's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, we are men. We have pride. We stand up. We handle business. You got fathers. You got husbands. You know what I'm saying? Like, we handle business. So even if it hurts, even if we're going through something, you want to know something? It's all right. Because at the end of the day, we're going to make it all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. I remember my daughter used to say this all the time. She was like 3 years old, 4 years old, something like that. She was like, yo, daddy's going to fix it. Daddy got it. Daddy's going to do it. To where my ex-wife was like, oh my God, like, he's just your superhero, huh? Yes, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I might not have a cape on, but yes, there's an S on my chest. I am her superhero, absolutely. So it's gonna be all right. So that's just how we are. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think anyway.
I think my mask is thinking I have everything under control, that I have precognition, that I can see into the future. And another thing is, I'm wearing 2 masks. I'm wearing that, and my other mask is, if I feel abandoned, I push people away. If I feel like somebody is not on the level that I need to, I have to get rid of them and push them away, not because they did wrong, but just because in my mind, that's my mechanism. I only know one way, and I see things, I see the result I look at the finish line, I'm figuring out where to start. And if I put a lot of pressure on myself and I push people away from other responsibilities that I have given to them so that that can fall on me. Because I feel much better when I can blame myself instead of somebody else. Because if the problem was me, now I know I need to fix it. But if I put it on somebody else, I feel like I'm being controlling and blaming them for something that they had no control over. And I have expectations of things that they can't meet because they're not inside my mind. I'll put it in a perspective. I'll use basketball as an example. If I'm telling you to line up at the 3-point line in the corner and I'm taking the ball to the rack and I say, you stay right there. And if you don't, cut and take your man with you over here so that this person can be open, and they don't see it the way that I see it, I can't jump in your body and do it for you. So then it's just give me the ball and I'll do it. So that's always been my biggest problem, is that I need to put more faith in other people instead of always trying to take on my own burdens. That's it. I wish I could change that, but I can't, because when I see it a certain way, I have to do it that exact way. And if I do it any other way, I'm going to feel like I didn't do it the way that I was supposed to. When you have certain goals and expectations you're trying to reach, I set unrealistic expectations and then expect to meet them.
Pride. We as men, we are very prideful when it comes to our life, our health, our mental health, our finances. We are prideful. We don't want to let nobody know when things are bad. It's our pride. That's the biggest mask we take on, because we don't want to feel like we're embarrassed. We don't want people to think less of us if we have to if we say we need a helping hand. Pride is definitely the biggest mask we cover up, because, as Jay said earlier, we told as the man, you gotta be the leader, gotta be the head of the household, gotta be the strong. But some of that macho stuff ain't necessary. You have to show a vulnerable side, because you're gonna eventually have moments of weakness. No matter what age you are, no matter how you are, you're gonna have moments where you shed a tear or two. So pride is the biggest mask, one of the biggest masks I think we as men deal with a lot, because we don't want we don't want to feel embarrassed if we're in a compromising or in a tough spot.
Okay. Well, keeping on this topic, right? So what you guys just said, if we could take away any title from you guys, who is the man sitting on this couch tonight with absolutely no one expecting anything from you? Who would you be?
That's a good one.
Who would I be?
That's such a really good question. I have never, I've been on shows about stuff like this. I have never heard a question worded so eloquently and perfectly. That is, wow. I don't get stumped, but oh wow, I got to think about this one.
I'll probably either be still Maxine's son or Sophie's dad. That's probably all I'll be. I wouldn't be main event John Watson, all this, everything I do, Deacon Watson, that. I'm probably, if anything else, I'm still Maxine Jones' son, Sophie Watson's dad.
That father never turns off. But I could say that I'll be a man sitting on the beach. I have a nice cold drink in my hand, and I can turn my brain off. That's who I would be. That right there is so relaxing, with the breeze off the water, toes in the sand. Like, I don't know if that's the answer that y'all would be looking for, but I know that's the man that I am. I would be. Take away all titles, everything, with not a care in the world, nobody looking for nothing, that wants nothing. That's who I am. Man on the beach, toes in the sand, breeze in my hair, beverage in my hand. That's it.
Breeze in your head. I just.
I said the same thing. I said,
Hit on the head. I
you
didn't
don't
say
got that
yeah.
on your head.
Don't say
Okay.
this gets long though.
I was like, whoa.
I'm gonna say when you talk about your
That's
beard,
hate.
because I'm like, there's nothing up there.
That's hate.
See, bro, you gotta take me with you. I'm trying to go to that beach. I can see it here. See it.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think I know how to answer this now. So if you take away title of father, take away title of husband, everything, all that I am, all that I have been, I think you would just find, take away gamer, take away podcaster, you would find a nerdy kid from Akron, Ohio, with a passion for music and wrestling, anime, and video games. If I couldn't have none of that, I'd be a kid sitting on the windshield of my car with my back up against the windshield, looking at the stars at the night sky with a drink in my hand or a cigar in my hand. Because that's how I spend my summers. Or sitting at a bonfire and I'm probably the only one there, just admiring the fire, like manifesting the fire inside of me, and just marshmallow s'mores, some good barbecue, a Dutch. Like,
Nice.
That's who I am, and that's what I aim to be, and just blessed, man. Just blessed that I was able to see this long. If it all ends today, I lived enough for 3 lifetimes. Perfectly happy. My kids are good. They'll have everything. 2 life insurance policies. They'll be taken care of. Plug come through and get airdropped. Whatever you need. Family has always manifested how much we should enjoy life. And I'm just a guy who enjoys life. That's it.
I want to take a point, right? Jason, you said pretty much to turn my brain off.
Yeah.
And I think that's so, out of everything, that is a very powerful comment, right? Because from hearing you guys and listening to you guys and knowing other guys and knowing that you guys are constantly thinking about how you can do this, how you can provide better, or how you can be better, or how can you achieve this goal, or how can you make sure you're everything that the world expects you guys to be while still trying to be yourself. So I think that's really a good point to be able to turn it off. Like, you just want, like, if I can turn it off and not think about nothing because I'm none of those things in this moment, that's a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
Kai, did you have anything to add before I moved on to the next thing?
Nah,
I want you to answer that question, is what I want, because I feel like
You
that
want me
was
to
a
answer?
really good question. And I think we as women wear so many titles that I think that is an excellent, like,
That is one of the greatest
segue.
questions I've ever been asked. I'm just going to tell you.
So yeah, I want you to answer that question.
You have to answer it. You have to answer that question.
This is about men. This ain't about me. You know, this is more like them, like not me.
We ask everybody to be transparent, so you know.
Okay.
Oh, Tanisha. Yeah. Salute.
Oh, I drink some truth serum, huh?
Apparently that was real important.
It is. And I'm going to try to do this without crying because I already feel it in my eyes. I mean, pretty much I would, if I could strip all the titles away from me, like everything, it would be for my brain to be cut off. Like, for me to stop thinking, because when I think, it's could be productive but not be productive. When I overthink, it's very bad. Like, it's bad. Like, so if I can, like, just turn that off and not think, I would.
I'm telling you, yo, that's priceless. If you don't get a chance to do it, get a chance to do it. You know what I'm saying? Even if every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like I know when I come home and I tend to my animals, clean the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? It's let me take this half hour for myself. Half hour for myself, just so I can deal with the rest of my life before I gotta go to bed and we'll go to work tomorrow. Take a half hour. Just to clear your mind. Forget about everything. Don't worry about nothing. You know. So I mean,
I'm a firm believer in that. Like, I think everyone should take. This became a point of contention, even in my house with my mom. It's because every day after work, you got to give me 30 minutes before you come with the 911 emergencies. You got to stay at the door if nobody's bleeding, if I'm not going to the ER. I need all of 30 minutes to come down from the day before I can deal with anything else. And I think it's really important to have that sense of self-care and that awareness, because sometimes life is so fast, you move from one thing to another, and you never stop to just be like, to just even check in with yourself. Like, are you okay? What do you want today? And I think in the midst of all those titles, it can be really hard to do that.
Yeah. I all I can say is I can try. It's not, everyone needs me.
No, they don't.
Anyway.
Welcome to my therapist's favorite subject. She's like, guess who doesn't need you all the time? Everybody. They will survive. And I'm like, no, and then one day I put it to the test and legit, everybody survived. Everybody.
Okay. Now the fire is off me. Let's go back into y'all.
Here we go.
All right. Now, pretty much let me put it this way. So in the world, right, especially with you guys all being Black men, tall.
Oh, are y'all tall? I mean, hard to say. We're in a box.
I'm not. I'm
okay.
Well, I was gonna give it to you. I wasn't gonna say you weren't.
Thank you for your honesty.
Morally,
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not.
He's morally tall. Morally tall.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
That's it.
I'm not gonna front.
Right, or just the fact
6'5" right here.
Just the fact of.
Damn, that's
every time.
Just the fact.
Every time he has to tout that every call. Anyway.
Wait, you're 6'5"?
Yes. Had you shown up, you'd have known.
I knew he was going to say that.
I showed up. You went early because you told me you were the last one. So don't even go there, okay? I showed up when the last one.
I said we were going on. I said we were going on at 8:30.
Last. No, you did not.
Okay, on to the next topic, Bitter 2. Let's move on.
I will say this. I'm really glad that I didn't, because you would have probably put hands on me because I went last, but there were only 3 battles. So it was like, hey, you're up. So as soon as I got there, I'm like, oh, I can't do nothing. And then my phone went dead.
Anyway.
But I'm sending you.
The question I was going to ask. Don't worry. When I see you.
Here we go. Why do I always get into fisticuffs? Can you say focus? Let's go.
I'm trying.
I love her.
So now, ultimately, so with the fact of pretty much your existence in this world, right? Many of you guys could probably spend time code switching. And if you don't know what code switching is, look it up. No. Code switching is pretty much where,
I'm pretty sure you know what it is.
You're one way with your people. Yeah, no, but I'm like, you're one way with your people. And then when you're at work, you're a different person. You answer the phone, you're a different person. Code switching. Pretty much, to pretty much make everybody feel safe around you. So what is the mental toll on you constantly having to monitor your existence in your energy and spaces, as in like corporate, the street, or even certain friend circles? And where do you go finally to take up space without apologizing?
I'm nice to everybody, but once we get acquainted,
Except Tanisha.
See, hold on. Let's stop right there. One of the reasons she wants to beat me up is because I've made her cry with how I've complimented her on multiple occasions. That's why she wants. That's one of 54 reasons why she wants to put hands on me. When I was doing shows and I see her, I always make a point to lift her up, because every time she sees me or hears from me, I want her to have a smile on her face. That's the only thing I care about.
Oh, that's sweet.
Only thing I care about is her happiness.
I know Jason's like,
Yeah, it ain't like that. I promise. It's the same thing with you, Kiara.
He don't care.
I make sure that everybody is happy. Once I get acquainted with somebody, then I start swearing. And if you can take that, because I do it at work. At my job, I can swear. And I work with a lot of corporate people, and they swear too. So I don't.
Facts.
Once you become part of a work family, that's it. Like it's up. You already know what you see is what you get. I don't code switch. I put a filter on how much I don't swear. And then once we get cool, I start swearing. That's it. I don't talk no different around y'all than I do other people. It's the same exact thing. You got to take what you can get. Now, if it's around some big executives, obviously, and you ain't gonna be doing nothing like that. But I've always told people I want to be my 100% authentic self, and what you see is what you get. I can't hold back who I am. I just can't. And the mental toll that it took on me before, I realized you just trying to impress people who already probably think less of you, and it ain't worth it. Be who you are. That's all you got to do.
I'd stopped caring what people think a long time ago. I'm 40. I'll be 42 in September. I ain't got time for that. I got kids. My daughter's finna be 10. Come on. I used to have that growing up as a kid where I felt like I need to do stuff, act a certain way, dress a certain way, so I could be accepted. Try to not be myself. As I got older, I realized that was all just stupid. I was able to get more comfortable in my skin. I wouldn't have to dress a certain way. I dress when I want to. I dress comfortably, and I still dress fresh. And I can still be myself, still be goofy, still have a serious side, but let people see that I'm authentic by being who I genuinely am 24/7, 365. When I'm at work, it's the same person you're going to see. Same person you'll see on the pod. Same person you're going to see if you was in my house. You're going to see me at church. I'm not putting on for nobody. I'm going to be genuine me, because that's all I can be now. Because life is too short to try to pretend to be somebody else.
I mean, they said it. Absolutely.
Jason says same.
Yeah. I mean, I am who I am wherever I am. It doesn't matter if I have a suit on or if I have on some dirty jeans and a torn up shirt, like and work boots. You know, I am who I am. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to accept it, I mean, if you don't want to deal with it, don't accept it, then fuck you. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? As John said, John, 42 years old, I'm 47. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've gave up a long time ago. I don't care what you think. You know, as long as it don't affect my bottom line, my relationship with the people who's important to me, I don't care. Really don't. Authentic.
Can I just say how refreshing that is to hear? Because I don't know if I think there's a fundamental difference between the way men and women answer that question. Because if I were to ask, and I can attest, you don't get the same Kiara at 5 o'clock that you're going to get at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, because you don't need to know her. And I mean that. And I mean that. But I also guard that fiercely. Like, I was like, the Kiara my husband gets, nobody gets. Except maybe my kids when they don't visit. Right? I feel like I'm very much an onion in a lot of those ways. And I know for women, we don't have that luxury. I feel like it's a lot of there's a lot of things that you're up against, and I'm sure you guys see that in the workforce, but it's not acceptable for us to act certain ways, and they will tell you, period. So I find it really interesting. I'm not saying you guys are right or wrong or that I'm right or wrong. I just think like it's fascinating to hear that conversation because immediately I was like, yup, I code switch. Now, if you're my direct report, you're going to get a little bit more after 5 o'clock Kiara. And the first time she heard, she was like, oh, I love you. I was like, yeah, you get that, Kiara, because I trust you and you've earned that. But the other people, they get a whole different Kiara.
I'm sorry. I want to make a quick amendment. I do code switch. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, why are you lying? Because I'd be on the phone with
Frozen.
you when you be at work.
Okay. Say it again. What you said?
I'm about to say, why are you lying? Because I definitely be at work on the phone with you when you be at work. You like, yeah, I'm like, where?
No, that's who I am. No, no. The only time I code switch is when I'm having a certain conversation with my children. When I'm having a certain conversation with my children, then it's dependent upon my daddy
I agree.
or my J. You know, because I could talk to him like daddy, and I could say, listen, you shouldn't do A, B, and C because this is what's going to happen, and blah 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 blah. Or I could talk to him as Jay and say, this is the reason why you really shouldn't do this because, but if you really are going to do it, let me explain to you how you do it correctly. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the code switch comes in. You know, other than that, other adults, nah, this is me, who I am. This is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I was like, my kids don't get, no. I think that's what we learned, I think, from our fathers, Visha, is like, you don't switch. It is what it is. Like, somebody got to tell you. And we have no filter. Like, zero. Yeah. But I think that was his fault, to be fair. But I want to call attention to La Madrina is in the chat. And I wanted to call attention to her comment because thank you for validating me. Because I was like, am I crazy saying this? But I feel like all my friends at work code switch. Like we got master's degrees in code switching. So I
definitely code switch. I mean, I think I code switch because majority of the people I worked with were white. I ain't gonna hold
that right there. That right there. And I'm the only black person at my job.
Black person at the job, or being the only black person in my position, or I get looked at in a different way, right? So now who I am in the office, if I'm close to you, is completely different versus who I am when I'm talking to a client or a customer, a completely different person. I'm not gonna, and then, when I'm with my siblings, I'm a completely different person. They can attest to that. I'm a very different person. When I'm with my friends, I'm a different person. When I'm with my man, I'm a different person. When I'm with my kids, I'm a different person. Everybody don't get me the same across the board. Like, you can't. Like, it's impossible. Like, I mean,
I don't think they would even know how to deal with it. Like, it'd be like, what? That's fascinating.
So I get it. So to hear you guys like, nah, I guess I also think too, as you get older, you don't really care no more. Like you're kind of like, whatever, I don't care. But I think that's what I've noticed mainly from guys too. As you get older, it doesn't matter. See, went to Harvard.
You know what I'm saying? Yale
Princeton.
or Princeton, right?
I went somewhere.
She got a PhD. She didn't stop at a master's degree. She got a PhD, and she's been working in that field for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. All right, next question.
So, next question. Are we ready? All right. Okay. So, of course, we hear this phrase a lot, right? Especially when things were happening, like Floyd, like Black Lives Matter. Especially now, it's coming even more so protecting the Black man, trying to get you guys to be vulnerable, things of that nature. And like they're finally giving you like, no, I want you to be vulnerable. Like, cry, come to me. Like, they just want you to be like that, right? That's what social media is like, right? At this point. So now we know vulnerability requires trust. So, and truthfully, the world is not truly safe in that regards, I would think. But then again, you guys can tell us different because this is you guys living in this world. So the question is, have you ever penalized yourself for being too transparent? And have you ever regretted showing your real fractured self to a partner, a friend, or an employee because they ended up treating you like you were broken instead of a human?
Oh, that was easy. My baby mama. That's easy.
Oh.
That's easy. My baby mama.
I could literally concur that one right then and there.
That's easy. My baby mama.
That's
I thought
we could just move on to the next question.
that's my baby. My baby.
No, wait, because I have a follow-up
That's
question.
easy.
Okay, because everybody's in concurrence to this. I have a follow-up question.
What?
Why?
Because I thought she was gonna be the
But now I
one.
want to know, because why?
I saw that. I put it like this: after Sophie was born, she was not the same person,
Boom.
and I know her. She stopped being, and I pray I don't get caught because I already know I'm going through right now. But here's the deal: she's always been a mother, but she stopped being a woman.
We could get into this right here. Now, this is a topic.
Hold on, wait.
This is a topic.
Wait, hold on, question. Wait,
Boy,
this
it's
is a
out
topic.
the
question.
mud.
Hold on.
We got
Before we get into this topic, hold on. Before we get into that topic, guys, answer the question.
Yes.
What made it? Because you guys all was like the same. So what makes it to where the partner that you actually became so vulnerable with made you feel broken?
she literally weaponized my vulnerability against me in arguments. Anytime that she needed an advantage, you open up. But John literally just broke it down. It's academic. When you are with a woman and a child is brought into this world, and she changes exactly who she is, that loving and tender, cared, all of that is thrown out the window, and she turns into an op, an enemy, a sparring partner, a accuser. When she becomes an activist for your own personal agony, then you've lost the feeling. Let me explain something. When you weaponize my darkest secrets against me in an argument, when I'm trying to explain something to you, you ain't the woman that I should be with. When I try to tell you something that I've kept on my mind, that I want to take to the grave, shit that I want to take to the grave. Everybody on here got something they want to take to the grave. But I was transparent enough to tell her everything, every single thing I've had, thought I've had, and in arguments that would come up. Oh, why don't you go back to doing this, and this? Or why don't you? And it became a point where my home was a prison, where my safe space was a danger zone, was a battlefield. I felt safer outside the house than I did in. There's a reason why we as men sit in the fucking driveway for 30 minutes. Because we got to prepare for war when we go inside. So now we got to sit there and take that 30 minutes that Jason was talking about and prepare ourselves. That time we're supposed to be taking a break, we got to armor ourselves. John was talking about when his child was born and she stopped being a woman. She stopped being a woman and started becoming an entity, a mythological being, a weapon, an opponent, a harbinger of death.
I thought you was gonna say doom, but okay, that's okay.
No,
Deep.
when you're supposed to be a guardian angel and you form those halos into devil horns, when you take the biggest thing that I've given you, which is my love, my sanity, and my safety, and you turn that into a sword and shield, and you use that against me, how am I supposed to feel safe? How am I supposed to explain to you? And then here's the thing. Women will say, well, why can't you just open up? I'm different. How am I supposed to know you different? How am I supposed to trust you with my deepest and darkest secrets and things that I feel when the last person that I did it with that told me the same exact thing? And I'm supposed to give you that same opportunity? Fuck no. I take that to the grave. It ain't like I did nothing, but if I'm thinking things or if I'm sharing something with you, we feel embarrassed because we've given you a piece of our heart and you've turned that into something totally different. So nah, a woman should only in my opinion. My woman gets a certain percentage of me. The rest I got to keep to myself because I got to take that with me when I leave here. Because if I give her everything and then she takes everything, I have nothing if it's just me and her. That's why I had to find myself. We as men got to find ourselves when we give everything to a woman. It's a reason why men do not share their pain and agony with their woman, because a woman is not going to understand. If she tries to understand, she's going to notate that. The main focus of the agony is notated and brought up in an argument later. Whether she attempts to not do it, it's going to happen. Because when a woman gets mad, she turns red and sees everything. And everything becomes weaponized that's in her mind, including our deepest, darkest secrets and our most vulnerable moments. And I'm speaking so enthusiastically about it because I'm replaying all the times that it's happened. So to a degree, I can never give 100% of myself ever again. It does not matter who it is. It could be a godsend. I've been burnt once. I can't take that opportunity again. And as long as she respects that, that's cool. There's just some things I got to keep for myself.
All right, Jason, you go ahead because it's about to be on shortly.
Well, I can most definitely agree with both gentlemen. My children's mother, my ex-wife, she has taken some vulnerable things. I just give y'all one example. I said my father passed away. All right, so I'll explain to you exactly what happened. My father, he had a heart problem. But what ended up happening is he had a heart issue, fell, hit his head on the stove, and he bled out. This happened either a Saturday night, Sunday morning, but his body wasn't found until Monday. All right, so that's when I got the call. So fast forward, in the midst of an argument, my ex-wife did say to me, "You're gonna die alone like your father did." Now, my father was my best friend. My father's my best friend. I can talk to him about anything and literally anything in the world. It didn't matter what it was, and he related. That's why when it comes to my children, sometimes I'm daddy, sometimes I'm Jay. Because with my father, he was Robert. You know what I'm saying? Not daddy. So she said that, and she knew that cut me deep. She knew it. And it's something that I'm never going to forget, you know? But also, I had to control myself, control my emotions, and realize you're not talking about me. Unfortunately, you're talking about yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I believe her fear came in, is because children are leaving. Children are leaving. She's going to be by herself. And it's partially because of her pushing them away. But that's neither here nor there. I just know that being vulnerable with somebody who I was with for a very long time, and she used it against me. That's just one example, So, as Dallas said, you do become guarded. You know what I'm saying? You don't let everybody know everything. I might give you a piece over here, and somebody else get another piece over there. That way I can get out what I need to get out. You know what I'm saying? But everybody doesn't have, someone doesn't have everything against me, because it will be used as a weapon. It has happened.
So let me say why I said it, why I said I generate this conversation. I started seeing it probably after my daughter was born. And listen, my daughter's mama, she's already had a child that was already older. I've seen her as a mother before. But some reason, I think after Sophie was born, something changed. And I didn't, and probably the signs were there and I was just ignoring them. But it didn't click to maybe like one night we went out for my birthday. And this was right before like my homeboys was when I was probably right before I was approached about the idea of starting Sports for You, and we was out, and one of my boys, my co-host, he was darting his podcast, No Rules, and he was telling me, he was like, man, we're gonna get a podcast for John doing something sports wise, da 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 da. And right there, she was like, "What is he gonna do?" And I didn't hear it, but my friends did, and they let me hit me up the next day. It was like, "Dog, did you hear it?" Like, let me hit me up, and then they was all like shocked that it happened that way. And then about a month later, that's when it was over. So she stopped being a woman because she's obviously she stopped being a woman. She's just put all her energy into her kids. And sometimes I feel like when you do that, and I don't tell no one how to raise their kids, you get lost. You can get lost in that because you start forgetting about sometimes you gotta take yourself away and remember who you are as a person, as a man or as a woman. And sometimes I think she forgets that sometimes, and she just keeps everything embodied into her kids, and it could be sometimes it could be a detriment to your health physically and mentally.
Okay. I mean,
Okay, I need to take
I
a
feel like I
moment.
have follow-up questions, but then y'all explained it. But I figured, yes, that's fine. You go ahead.
Let's talk about this for a second. I'm gonna start with you, John,
Yes, ma'am.
because I love you.
I love you too.
And I think it's really important to notate that when you carry a child for 9 months, you are becoming a different person. It's not just a physical situation. It's emotional, it's mental, it's chemical. You are changed on a fundamental level, which means who you are, what you want, what your goals are starts to shift because now you're thinking correctly as an entity because you are now a family. You're not just a mother. You're a biological mother who feeds your child, is responsible for their lives and yours. So it is absolutely acceptable to me that a woman adapts because a lot of men can't understand that because from the male perspective, and this is something I discussed with my husband too, so this is not anything. From a male perspective, not that much changes, right? It's like, you didn't carry this child for 9-10 months. You're not dealing with the afterbirth and the postpartum, the chemicals that make you kind of crazy for a good bit of time. Your body doesn't even start to recover until much later after you have that child. So your perspective, your desires, your wants, and your ambitions changing is exactly potentially the situation. So when you consider having children, I think it's super important to know that there's a lot that goes into that. And that's why women and their motives and their feelings and thus change. With that, it is never acceptable to treat your partner like they're trash or to weaponize anything that they say to you. And as someone who has been with my husband for 20 years through 2 children, I can tell you right now, I absolutely changed after I had my kids. But what I never would ever do is weaponize anything he's ever told me. His secrets are my secrets.
That's right.
And vice versa. So I will challenge you to say, if you find the right person, that change doesn't fundamentally become the harbinger of nothing. If anything, and he will tell you, I'm exactly his home. I'm his peace. I'm his world, period. So there is nowhere in this world where I'm going to tell him that he can't do or won't do. I'm going to tell him he can go to the moon as long as he take me with him.
That's right.
Or at least come back.
Why you gotta
You know
go?
what I'm
Why you can't go by?
Yeah, why you
or at
gotta
least
go?
come back.
No,
Well,
let
I'm
him
gonna
go.
tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now because he would not go
He wouldn't want to go to the moon without him. Okay, without her. So I can't.
I'd have went to
Put
Mars.
money on it. In fact, that's who just texts my phone and tell me the AC's not working. Okay, and he knows I'm on a live stream, so he knows. My immediate response is, I'm talking to y'all and I'm talking to the maintenance people because I'm like, he ain't about to be uncomfortable tomorrow. Okay, so I'm like, I'm gonna challenge that thinking and tell you, if you pick the right partner and you are in the right mind frame of growth together, then this is not something you're going to experience. Because like I said, we've been together 20 years. We've had 955 million fights. We had days we didn't like each other. We had days that we love each other. We had days where we was like two ships passing in the night. But under no circumstances do you ever get to treat somebody like that. You have to build a foundation of pouring into each other. Now, how do I do that? Through God. Because there's some days I wanted to take his head off. I'm like, who are you? But I also was taught to communicate in a way that's effective. I'm not happy. You're not happy. What are you not getting? What am I not getting? And what our ultimate goal is together. When you build into the same goal, you don't find yourself with adversaries because you are always going to be friends, partners in crime, all of the above. So I would challenge that thinking and saying, like I said, I had 2 kids, changed completely. We've changed completely over 20 years. But we changed together, because when you're with the right person and you have the right mind frame, then that changes that entire feeling, thought, perspective, experience. So like, I hear you, because I'm like, I don't know. I'm sitting here listening like, I don't know who y'all was talking to. What is happening?
You had to be there. You had to be there.
What? How do you talk to people like this? And why is that acceptable? So I will also tell you guys, some of that onus has to be on the type of person you pick to be by your side. That is a choice you made. Mm-hmm. So it may not have been the right choice in the long run. It might have felt good momentarily, or as my dad liked to say, a nut and then what? Like,
hey, yo.
That's what he said. I told you my dad had no filter.
He had no filter.
Neither did mine.
He didn't have zero filter.
Neither did mine.
I have flashbacks of him showing us what STIs look like.
I
know, right? And then like how to put a condom on a banana. Anyway,
but my uncle did that. My uncle actually did. My uncle did that. It
was traumatizing. But all that to say, I hear you. I receive what you're saying, but I also want you to consider that there is a little bit of some onus that would have been on you guys for picking the partners that you picked.
Yeah,
then also, like I said,
every day. I
take accountability for it.
But then also, a part of that is knowing that, like I will tell you, one of the things my husband and I established is that we grow together, period. We don't grow opposite each other. If you want to do that, how can I support you? If I want to do this, how can he support me? Like, that is a whole different mind shift. So I will challenge you all to do some thinking when you're looking into your current and future relationships to find someone who is compatible with you and a friend and a companion and a partner in crime. Because I don't know who y'all was dealing with, but under no circumstances would that be okay in my house, my friend group, or the above. I'd be like, you can't talk to him like that. I don't. That's not. Right. And maybe Kevlin, you could speak on that too, because I know you in the chat and you know we was raised by the same man. And a part of that I do think is because we were raised by the same man. So we learned easily and quickly that men are not to be beat up on,
talk about it,
but to be supported. And that kindness has to go both ways. And what love truly is, from what I think is Ephesians, please list. Okay. Anyway, I'm done.
Amen.
What's happening over here?
I'm just gonna chime in,
Amen. Hallelujah.
and then we're gonna.
What happened here?
Move on to the next question.
What question are we? What question are we on now?
Hold on, I'm gonna chime in real quick because listening to you guys, right? Hold on. She said all the other stuff.
I'm done now. Yeah, I'm done.
I ain't about to beat y'all up because I mean, ultimately, yes, I can attest that I definitely changed after pregnancies, miscarriages, especially after miscarriages. I changed a lot, and also being vulnerable with the wrong person has made it impossible for me to be vulnerable now. So I definitely understand where you guys are coming from, because once you tell somebody all your secrets and you tell them and you're like, I can trust you, and then when they mad, they turn around and they throw it in your face and you just looking at them like.
But when women do that to you, they don't like. But here's the thing. You're doing the thing that you don't want your partner to do to you, right? So you don't want to be judged by the choices and the failures of their previous relationship. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the boys here.
Oh, well, I didn't even finish my statement.
Hold on. Let me finish that thought and you go right back. But I was just saying, y'all don't want to be judged by your partner's experiences. So how is it okay for you to make decisions based on your past experiences in your relationship kind of move into the future? Okay, now I'm done. They can answer that later.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, please? I apologize.
He was too busy laughing.
He's doing the Brady Bunch shit.
I'm wondering, like, yo, Tanisha had a point, and then you had Allen Iverson over here just step over Tyronn Lue.
Because I want to validate the fact that, because I know Tanisha and I know where she's going with that. So I'm like, hold on a minute. Let's not give y'all an out to say it's okay for you to do the thing that y'all very much, because I know you and you be like, nah, I hear you because I do it too. But that's not okay for you to do it either. Right? It's not okay for anybody to judge their new relationships or new situation by your previous experiences, because you're basically creating and recreating your trauma. I'm done with y'all. Carry on, Tanisha. I just cannot.
I mean, I wasn't going to sit here and say, I don't even know what I was going to say no more because it's over here. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Either way, I get it. Kiara has a point. You need to find the right person that you can feel vulnerable with. But I also understand that you can still have the right partner and still not feel like you can be vulnerable.
I don't know if you have the right partner.
Exactly. You know what? That's not up for discussion right now.
I don't know if you have the right partner then. Because if you can't feel comfortable, how is that the right partner?
Time out. Hold on, wait. Time out. You can't really say that in regards to how because
you don't want to do that.
No, well, I'm not going to do that. But what I'm sitting here saying is you've been with somebody for a certain amount of time, right? And you guys had to grow, right? And it wasn't always easy.
But there was a fundamental belief that you are not rude, disrespectful, and you keep that trust and you keep that trust. So I'm like, you still have to have a foundation.
Take a drink, Jason.
Oh, I just got me a refill, my bro.
Like, no, I ain't giving nobody an out for that. Is that the right person? No.
It's going to be a long night.
How do you know
it's not the right person?
Listen.
How do you know if it's the right person?
How do you know the person?
The right person should not make you feel.
But at a point in time,
you're not safe.
At a point in time, they didn't. At a point in time, this person who ended up not being the right person, for whatever reason that they wasn't the right person, at that moment, they was the right person to be like, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable enough to tell you this is what happened. And then in the midst of an argument, bow, low blow. Yo, come on, bro. Like, really? This is what you're going to hit me with?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what I'm telling you. I don't know.
How do you know? You don't know.
You are not going to know whether it's the right person. I think you're right in the sense that you're not going to know. You only go through time to figure out. So if that's what you were saying, Tanisha, I hear you. You have to go through time to recognize if that's the right person.
And you said it yourself. Y'all said it yourself. during pregnancy and birth, y'all change.
Yep.
We do.
Which is
So do
understandable.
y'all.
You don't change that much.
That's true. Wait, hold on,
Y'all
time out.
change.
Because y'all do change too while we pregnant. Some people be acting like they like, oh, I'm so in love, and then you get a kid, you be like, you not the same. You ugly.
That's because that nigga
That
ain't want
ain't
to be
me.
involved.
Like,
That ain't me.
That's because the nigga didn't want to be involved. Men are family orientated.
Boom.
are
You know what I'm
y'all?
saying? Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. A real man is family orientated.
See,
Yes.
here's the
Not
thing.
all of them. Not all of them.
I'm about to say not
Oh,
everyone.
That's a
Hold
generalization.
on.
It's
Hold on.
family orientated.
Not all of them, just the ones y'all choose. And
choose?
then, if a woman and a man cannot come together for their child, there is a disconnect. Okay.
True. I agree.
With my situation, I was making $2,500 every 2 weeks, so that's $5,000 a month. She saw that and figured, oh, I ain't got to work because you making, this and this. Cool. We worked out an agreement so that can make her happy. But I took on more financial burdens because of that. And then when I could not handle the burden and I needed help because I was going through something with a previous situation, she changed. I'm not leaving anything out when I say this. We had discussions, we had talks, and I said, hey, this is what I'm facing. Can you help me here? She was comfortable and people were getting in her head, putting things in her head. That led her to rebel against what we normally had done as a couple. And things that we did before, we stopped doing because her expectations of me grew higher. I had to meet those expectations, which I did. But after a while, she was not happy with me, but she did not communicate with that. So what did she do? She cheated. And then when she cheated, I cheated back. Want to keep it real. So then when that happened, we had a disconnect because we were both wrong and we were both immature. So then when we finally sat down and talked, I said, well, then let's just co-parent. And then after that, things started to change. She started to become more appreciative of things. But then when she got around certain people, she started to withdraw. And some of the personal things that we shared with each other came out because she was lashing out, because she tried to take on the burden that I took on and she couldn't handle it. But she didn't want to give up her pride and ask for help because we were no longer together. So she lashed out at me. And how are you supposed to know that someone is the right person when they reveal who they really are during your darkest moments? You can't understand that because you're not that kind of person. Do you think I could sit there and understand why Adolf Hitler killed a bunch of people? Do you think I could sit there and understand why Frank West and Mary West went and killed a bunch of people, or why men put their hands on women, or why women? Everybody is wired differently depending on how they are raised and what they see and what they find acceptable. So for you to not understand that, that's completely okay. But we do go through it. And when we go through it and explain, like, this is what we're going through, you can't look at us and be like, well, you chose the wrong person. You cannot experience anything unless you go through it. How am I supposed to know what a wall feels like if I don't run through it? How am I supposed to?
But my point is, and I'm going to say this, there are signs throughout your experience that show you who people are. The question, as these two people, Madrina and Kevlin, say in the chat, is whether you pick up on those things. Now, that's not to say, like I said, you might think that person is perfect, and then you realize that that person's not. And at the end, you did recognize that person is not the right one. But that's my point, is you're not going to know at the beginning. I didn't say you're going to know at the beginning. I said you are going to know whether it's the right one. And you'll be able to determine whether you can whether you found the right one.
Right. And that, I'm not deterring that. But I'm saying when we get to that point, it's too late because we've already given ourselves to that person through the honeymoon phase. You can't sit there and overanalyze a relationship and say, oh, I'm not going to know this person is the right one until this situation happens. Life is a trial.
It is.
Life is a trial. So how can you say this person isn't the right person? They have to do something to show you. And sometimes you don't pick up on it out of love, out of trust, because you don't believe that they could turn on you like that. People go through many different situations, and it's not for everybody to understand. We as men understand that betrayal is worse than death, and revealing something that we've said to you feels like betrayal, which causes death inside of us, and death to what we feel are our emotions. If this is a safe space, if you are my safe space, and I've told you something that is very dear to me and means something to me, even if it's something completely silly, it means something to me. And then down the line, when I look back, like, I shouldn't have told that person that, but I would not have known had I not gone through this situation. And that is the reason why we stay so guarded now, because even though we might be with the right, because I'm married. And even though I'm with my wife, I still have to be guarded because I have to be this way. My personal situations and what I've gone through, I gotta know. You still have to protect yourself at the end of the day. And if you don't understand that, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. But we got to move on, because I got to be up in about 5 hours.
Yeah, and I hear you, and I absolutely agree to disagree, because I think that fundamentally that is a decision that you're making, not necessarily one that you have to make. Because I would challenge that thinking and say that you could decide not to be, but you've decided that you wanted to protect yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you decide.
We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So we have one last question, because technically with this conversation touched on all the other questions I had.
Great.
So this is kind of like, like we touched on everything there. So this last question is pretty much, when was the last time someone actually really checked on you? Like, hold on, wait. And rather than hold on. And if you're not okay right now, who handles things while you're handling other things? So like if you're mentally not okay, you have to check out and you're like, I can't handle this right now in this moment, who is that person that you can depend on to handle everything outside that you would handle? Right? And then when was the last time someone actually was like genuinely didn't want nothing from you, no money, no nothing, no none of your time, but actually genuinely cared about what was going on with you?
With me, it was like when my pops just passed. So obviously it was my mom, Nesha. Obviously, a lot of family within the family. Closest homeboys. They all just checked as far as if I can't, I feel like there's something I can't do. My mom was always right there to help me pick up the pieces. Either my mom or my closest homeboys. They all my closest loved ones. They're the ones who are always there to help me pick up the pieces. But that was probably the last time someone really checked on me, and they didn't want nothing. They just wanted to make sure I was good in a good mental space.
Today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a good group of friends. Like I said, 30 plus years. My boys hit me up today. Yo, dog, how you doing? Real simple. Like, and we don't hold nothing back. You know what I'm saying? So it's today. And what's the other part of the question you asked? Who can I depend on, right?
Well, if you're right, yeah, who you can depend on when
they handle things.
Okay.
I handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it just have to wait. You know, if I gotta take a minute, I gotta take a day, I gotta take a week. This shit just gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna handle it. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, I do have a partner, and she's very supportive. You know what I'm saying? She's supportive. She holds me down. So you know what I'm saying? Like I pick her up. I'm appreciative of her. You know what I'm saying? Mine, she drives me crazy, you know, but you know, I guess it's just, you know what I'm saying, because I drive her crazy too. you know, but she holds it down most definitely. I can say her, but 9 times out of 10 though, I'll just take care of it. You know what I'm saying? I'll get it.
Last person that checked on me was probably my brother, my older brother by a year. So I have 5 sisters and 4 brothers, and we are one hell of a family. I'll tell you that much. And God willing, you know, we tried to stay, you know, like we fuss and fight. That's what family does. But the way I was raised is nobody's coming to save you. So, like, there is no rely on this other that doesn't exist in my world. Okay, if somebody needs to handle it, the only way something gets handled is if I am incapacitated. Okay, and then that's when my wife steps in. My wife, me and I, we work as a team, but she knows that my number one rule is I handle 99.9% of our problems, finances, everything. If I can't do it, then you step in. The only time that's had to happen is in 2024 when I had my appendix surgery. And even then, I was still trying to get out of the hospital bed on morphine and a bunch of shit after they had cut me open. I'm like, I got to get back to work. And she's like, no, you're staying home. I'm like, we got bills to pay. So if you can move a pinky toe, you getting your ass up. There is no, oh, I'm a rest here. There is no rest. I am a man. And part of my responsibility is to provide. And when I'm able to provide, and Jason can attest to this, John can attest to this, we only rest after the providing has been done for the week of the month. Absolutely. And we may only get about an hour or some change, but that hour that we get is the greatest hour of our lives. It could, if I could sit and stare at a wall, that'd be a dream for me. But do I get to do that? Hell no. So my brother checks on me. My grandma checks on me. God bless her. She just turned 82 last month. I don't have a relationship with my mom, and I've wanted one since I was 13. Like, I met my mom when I was 13. My mom is that type of person that just, she doesn't want to relate. You have to make an effort to get to her. And my mom is still alive. And I think right around the time I turned 35, I can't do it no more. Like, either you're going to meet me halfway or you're not going to meet me at all. Same thing with my dad. It's like, listen, I can't keep making the effort. I got my own family to raise over here. I can't be running errands and doing all. I got this over here. My greatest legacy will be everything that I left behind for my children and my wife and my family and the family that I built and the values that I taught them. And the fact that I'm teaching them independence. Nobody's coming to save you. You got to rely on yourself. When I was about to commit suicide, who did I have? I had me. That's the only person I had. Yeah, I had God, but ultimately it was my choice. And I chose me. I chose me because when I was ready to end it all, my daughter called me to tell me she loved me. No reason, just called to tell me she loved me. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm doing something wrong. Let me figure it out. Ain't nobody coming to save you, man. We as men have responsibilities, and we got to set our responsibilities. And when we set those responsibilities, we got to understand that we, as a kid, we wanted a superhero. Now we are the superheroes. I am the superhero. My kids look at me like a superhero, as a protector, as a provider, as everything, as a go-to. Because if you grew up in a broken home, you kind of don't know how to become that person. So you have to learn how to become that person. And I'm not saying my childhood was bad. I just had abuse throughout my childhood. But I had people there who actually gave me great knowledge. My aunts gave me great knowledge. They taught me how to deal with anxiety. Even my dad, he showed me like, hey, you didn't deserve that. This is how you handle it. So to answer your question, and I've answered it, when I need somebody, my wife is there, but she knows I take on 99.9% of the responsibility. And my brother checked up on me. My granny checked up on me. I've had maybe 1 or 2 friends check up on me, but that's because I checked up on them first and they felt guilty. So they probably reached back out to me. But overall, you can't run from yourself. Everywhere you go, there you are.
You are.
That's it.
Okay. I appreciate y'all for that. I'm happy that people do check on y'all. I know as a sister I should probably do better. But anyway,
Hey, don't worry about it. You good money.
Yeah,
On my
you good?
side, I don't know about nobody else. But
no,
you
I'm
good
talking
over
about
here.
you.
I know.
All right.
You holding
So
it down.
as we,
You holding it down. You holding it down,
Absolutely.
Tanisha.
That's
That's the
to
thing.
you. That's to you.
Yeah, matter of
y'all.
fact, yeah, to everybody, y'all holding it down. Especially you, Kiara, especially you, Tanisha. Y'all holding it down. Y'all doing y'all part.
Word.
Y'all
Word. I'm proud of y'all.
yeah, straight up.
Straight up. Like, I'll be honest with y'all, I'm not into wrestling no more. But y'all got some joint. Keep it up. Keep on going, man. Fuck that. I love it.
thanks. Thank you so much. So now as we close this out, I know I have one more question, but this is the last one for sure because this is the closing out question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now imagine. Well, I know John, you don't have a son, but just imagine if you had a son, or if your nephew or a young man who you are mentoring
My
was standing
godson.
where you. Oh, you do? Okay, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Where you stood at your absolute lowest. So like they're staying at your absolute lowest. If he looks at your life today, what is the blueprint for healing you want him to see?
Y'all want me to take this one first, or
Yeah.
Go ahead.
so repeat that last part of that question because I want to answer it candidly.
Okay. So pretty much if you have a young man in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually at your absolute lowest that you were at some point, right?
Right.
If they're looking at your life as today, what is the blueprint for the healing you want them to see?
So the healing that I want them to see is you got to surround yourself with people who actually believe in you and people who actually care about you. Number two, all you got is yourself in reality. Because if you want to move heaven and earth, you got to go through Mercury and Venus first. You got to get to the sun if you want shade and hotness. You have to be sun dipped. You have to be grounded. And the way to ground yourself is to write down the things that you want and write down the things that you can control and the things you cannot control and focus on what you can control. So what I can control is myself. What I can't control is the outcome of or the trajectory of where my life goes. What I can control is how I talk, how I walk, how I move, how I operate. And let me figure out what my issues are and focus on that. So at my lowest point, I just had to learn that if I want to get out of this, again, ain't nobody coming to save you. You got to pull yourself out of the quicksand. How do you do that? Everybody has a different way. I got to find a coping mechanism. So when I'm going through it, I need music, I need video games, or I just need somebody to talk to. If I ain't got nobody to talk to, I got music. If I ain't got music, I got video games. If I ain't got neither of those, I got my thoughts. I got something that can make me feel safe. Find your safety zone and rely on that and move forward. You have to go through a series of hailstorms to get to sunshine. And whether you have thunderstorms, tornadoes, or hurricanes, it doesn't matter. Everybody's struggle is going to be different.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, you want John to go first? Okay.
Okay. All right. With me, my godson is 18. He's 19. No, Jesus. He was born in 06. So no, he's 19. He's 19. So I look at him, I just tell him, just look at my faith. I ain't always been perfect. And when I've been at my lowest spot, it's my faith and my family that's got me through. And look at you can do the same thing with you and your family. You have your faith and always be able to rely on your family. Your mother loves you. Your dad loves you. That's where you keep those relationships and keep loving them, keep being by them, keep uplifting them, and the way they're gonna always uplift you because you're their child.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I have a son, 23 years old, Jason Jr. You know what I'm saying? He cool as shit. You know what I'm saying? He real cool. But I talk to him all the time, and he goes through some rough times because he's realizing what adulthood is. You know what I'm saying? From own crib to car to finding a job to going through his different trials and tribulations and different things that he's going through. First thing that I say to him, one, as Dallas said, is control. What can you control? You control yourself first and foremost. You have no control over nobody else. I tell him that all the time. So you control yourself. You control your own actions. You control your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? You control what you have on your person. You know, that's first and foremost. Second thing is accountability. As a man, you have to be accountable. I know I wasn't always a good person, but I know I wasn't a good person all the time. So since I know I wasn't a good person, I'm like, you know what? Let me not do that no more. Let me not be that person. So that's something else that I tell him. I try to give him experiences that I have gone through so that he doesn't have to go through these experiences. You know, if he doesn't have any shoes on his feet and he's barefoot and walking down this street, it's nothing but broken glass and nails all on the ground. Listen, man, you don't have to go over there because if you look at my feet, they're bloody. You know what I'm saying? So this is a different way for you to do it. You know, but accountability, most definitely, you're a man. I'm teaching my son how to be a man, even though he's a man. Teaching him how to be a man, you know, and he calls me every so often with different advice. It was just sometimes I'll get a text with the emoji with the hand over the face. Son, what's wrong? What's happening? What's going on? Talk to me. And I do know that I make myself accountable. I'm available. I'm sorry, I make myself available for my children. So if I'm at work, what's going on? I'll take the time away. But like I said, I teach my son accountability. You know what I'm saying? Being accountable of your actions, own what it is that you do, and if it hurts somebody's feelings, you know what I'm saying, you didn't mean to, say sorry, don't do it no more. Show corrective behavior, you know? So that's something that I do tell my son. Accountability, self-control.
Thank you. I mean, I appreciate you all for sharing that with us, and knowing that today's episode had to be challenging, that you had to be vulnerable, had to feel safe enough to feel that you can speak your mind. And two, you have a lot of people watching. So I appreciate you guys for coming on and sharing that vulnerability with us, because it takes a lot. Also, our sister says is the importance of having a man to teach boys to be men are beyond imperative. So she loves that. So that is something for sure that I think too in the community a lot of people fail to do or don't remember that it's important to do. So I commend all of you guys for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kai,
Amen.
you're on mute. I muted you by accident. Wait, I gotta take you off mute. Hold on, wait. Let me do it. I'll do it.
Horrible.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait. Unmute. It says unmute. Hold on. I'm gonna do it. I got you. Aha. Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can't hear you at all.
That's hateful.
I had muted you when you stepped off because you didn't mute yourself, so I could hear you moving. So.
Oh no! Me and the dog walked upstairs to check the thermostat because it's a long story. Y'all need one.
It's okay.
Is the AC fixed?
No. Not yet.
It hasn't been fixed for well over a month. It's a long story. Anyhow, it's a long story. Don't even get into that. It's a lot. Anyway, so I just want to thank everybody for your candid, we're not getting into that, important conversations. I think everything that was said today was necessary. And I think it was really important to put some light and attention on the struggles that men face, because it's not something that we talk about often. And I thought this panel, just like the last one, was really remarkable. So just thank you guys for coming and sharing your thoughts. And with that, we've had a great time with everybody tonight. We had tears, laughter, and yelling, like a family reunion. You know what I'm saying? Like
word.
like a family reunion. So I feel like you went through the whole gamut. And we have a whopping 11 people with us today. So y'all hung tight this entire time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you're new here. Bring a friend.
Share.
Okay. We do this pretty often. So with that, I just want again to like have the guests let us know where we can follow them. And then we'll tell you where you can follow us.
So we'll start with you, John.
Of course, you can follow me at John Watson 0984 on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me every Monday and Wednesday with Sports View Wrestling, Monday night Tribal War Zone, or Monday Night Raw Watch Along, which takes place during Monday Night Raw, and then every Wednesday night Sports View Wrestling, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. And of course, catch me every Tuesday and Friday on the Sports For You podcast at Sports For You. That's Sports, the number 4, the letter U podcast on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And check us out tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And again, Tuesday, the world premiere of our new show, Master Debaters. It's Sports For You, featuring Ballers and Breeze Fantasy Sports Podcast, debating all the ultimate topics in sports for the summer. And thank you to the mamas, and I can't wait to come back to the Confessions booth one more time.
Thank you for coming. Hey, Dallas.
Yes, hopefully something less controversial.
Yes.
Trust me, it's gonna be more. It's gonna be like very, very like.
It's gonna be wrestling. It's okay.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, be wrestling.
Okay, so Humble Roses Pod on TikTok and Instagram. Humble Roses Podcast on Twitter. And then you can find me on Dallas Cash at Facebook, Humble Roses Pod on YouTube. We got a couple interviews dropping. I got an interview dropping with Ulysses Monster Diaz. Bare knuckle fighter, has the fastest knockout in combat sports history. Former ECW alumni Dawn Marie. And then working on trying to get Calvin Johnson to come to the pod. Definitely, that's through a mutual friend. That's definitely like one of the big interviews we want to have. Big shout out to Sports For You Wrestling. Shout out to Tribal War Zone. Shout out to Main Event Mama. Shout out to all the podcasts out there that's doing their thing. Other than that, that's it.
And I'm going to answer for Jason. He's in witness protection. You cannot find him.
I mean, everybody's in witness protection on our show.
I know his fiance. I ain't trying to die. Nope. Sorry.
Again, everybody's in witness protection here, so it's okay. You know, if you're related to us, that's where you live. So it's fine. Poor Kevlin still can't get out. You know, it's all right. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out sooner or later. So
get it on YouTube.
That's it. I don't know if we'll get nothing else. Lord have mercy. But she said, I love it. Anyway, I know she's sick of being in witness protection. We just won't let her break out. So at the end of the day, we will be back tomorrow to talk some wrestling. So come back for that. And y'all know, I think it's midday with the mamas tomorrow, maybe. So we got a lot to talk about.
That depends on your schedule.
Y'all know I got like 16 jobs. I don't know. It depends on which job leaves me some freedom. I got nothing. Okay. I got nothing.
Let her be free, people. Let her be free.
No, they don't. They don't. So it's fine. Anyhow, but we want to remind you that we are a real live podcast. You can't just, we don't just exist on YouTube. You can find us on where can you find us, Tanisha?
Well, you guys can listen to us on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Music. And then, if you want to follow us individually, stop it, Jason.
Why did you say Spotify? Why did you say Spotify like you were British? Spotify.
Hold on,
You know what? Don't ruin her moment.
Don't ruin my thing. And you can
moment.
follow me, Tanisha, at Tanisha_MamaPod on TikTok and on Instagram. You can follow Kiara on Instagram at KiaraMamaPod. No space, no underscore on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. That's it, right? That's those four.
Yeah. Facebook, Threads, yeah, all of them.
And then you can follow her on Twitter as Content Vixen. On Twitter.
On Twitter.
Or X. Whatever you prefer.
Okay. If you want to come join us and hang with us, we have a brand new form that is now in our link tree, if you will, on our bio. You can submit your information and we will come back and let you in to our confession booth, maybe. Some of y'all clearly not coming back. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all don't know how to act. So y'all clearly not coming back again.
Come back.
But if you do know how to act,
Dallas may not be able to come back.
Why? I'm the main one. I've always come up. What are you doing?
Anyhow, regardless of anything, like I said, some of y'all will be getting y'all invitation revoked because we should have wrapped up by now. And we also want to let you know.
Join the squad. You can join our squad on Facebook. You can join our Patreon. It's free. But if you love us that much, you will also sit here and get a paid prescription so you can see all the background, all the back noise, all the things that happen backstage.
The things that happen that y'all would not believe. And you can pick up our season 1 soundtrack for $5. That's right. That's exactly what she said. No, we got a lot to do. And again, if you want to come at me, because I'm sure y'all going to watch this and have thoughts and feelings, you know where to find me. I argue on Threads all day, every day. Okay?
All day, every day.
So, anytime. So, all right, we want to say we're not new to this.
We're so true to this. And this was Main Event Mamas. Midnight Confessions. See y'all tomorrow.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Like and subscribe.